Alright y'all, we back again today with another video. Today we'll be reviewing the Air Jordan 8 Aquas. They did release this past weekend. I know a lot of people have already got their videos out and up, available to the public. So I won't bore you guys with, minor details. I'll just try to, run through the shoe and give my honest thoughts and opinions. But before we go any further into the video, can you please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when I drop any new content or any new videos. Make sure you're hitting the like button as well. That's the only thing that kind of pushes me and motivates me more to create, new and exciting content. So just make sure you're engaging with the content. If you haven't already, please go check out my last upload. I did a Air Jordan 1 collection video. I put a lot of time and effort into that video, so if you guys could go show that video some love, I would appreciate it. Like I said earlier, the Air Jordan 8 Aquas did release this past weekend, July 19th, for the retail price of $215. I was able to secure my pair from DTLR. I won a raffle with them, so not Hibbets this time, DTLR. Getting to the box, it does come in your normal Air Jordan 8 box, black lid, gray bottom, and has that Air Jordan logo over the top of the lid. Label on the box reads Air Jordan 8 Retro. Colorway is black, true red, flint gray, bright Concord. And this is a size 11, so my size. I did open the box and take a look at the shoes. Wanted to make sure I didn't get it, got a good pair. So yeah, getting right to it. Here are the shoes. And there you have it, the Air Jordan 8 Aquas. So this is a shoe that I had on my list to purchase coming into the year. I did miss out on the release in 2015, the last time the Air Jordan 8 Aquas did initially release in '93. Michael Jordan debuted these in the '93 All-Star game. They had a retro in '07 and a retro in 2015, and now the most recent retro in 2025. The retro in 2015, a lot of people had gripes and complaints about that with the midsole, the sparkling material on the midsole. And 10 years later in 2025, people have complaints and gripes about this retro as well. But we'll get into that later on in the video. So starting off with a breakdown of the shoe. On the medial side, you have that 90s style print back up here on the side panel. That bright Concord right there, teal. You have a black outsole coming up from the bottom, and then more of that teal up here at the top. You do have your straps back here that read Air Jordan. A 23 up here. Taking it to the other side, you have more of that 90s style print on that side. That Concord purple right there, teal, and more Concord purple up here. There is a nubuck on this shoe, a deep and very dark nubuck. So over time it will collect lint and dust. Even taking it out of the box, I had a little bit of lint and dirt and scuffs on the shoe, but just nothing that won't wipe away. Taking it to the tongue, you get that Chanel patch up there on the tongue, what the Air Jordan 8s are known for. So you get the true red Jumpman, the teal, and the Concord purple, and a little bit of black down there at the bottom. I do wear my 8s, with the strap loose, so I kind of loose lace them. But a lot of people do wear them with them actually strapped up. Taking it to the inside of the shoe, you get the side sticker right there. More of those 90s style pattern or colors on the insole. The production dates do read 02/05/25 to 03/14/25. Taking a look at the outsole, you do get the 90s style pattern down there at the bottom. You get a little bit of bright Concord purple, yellow, and teal. You do have a little bit of red in there as well towards the toe box up here, you get the True Red Jumpman. Finally, we get to the portion of the shoe that everybody had an issue with, and it is the back. The back of the shoe does come in a very, very light gray. It is a very light gray compared to the 2015 pair and the original pair. I think the 07 pair was, you know, completely dark, so dark, and it matched the nubuck on the upper up here. But everybody had an issue with this gray. It's, you know, it's not the gray that they remembered, or not close to the original pair. But on the 2015 version, a lot of people were complaining about the glitter. So now they're complaining about the gray. It's just like you can't please everybody, you know. You go down here, you fix the midsole, you take some of the glitter off, but then you come up here and you complain about the gray. So, you know, it's like one thing after another. You know, we can't get a perfect shoe. So I myself, I don't have an issue with the gray. Even though it is a very, very light gray, it blends perfectly with the upper of the shoe. So with this being black and this being gray, it kind of has a good color contrast. I never owned the 93 pair or the 2015 pair, so, you know, I wouldn't have that to go off of. But you know, just going off my opinion alone, you know, the light gray up here and the dark black up here, the dark black nubuck, it's kind of a nice touch. This shoe did sell out on Sneakers app. In stores, it didn't do as well. They did have pairs kind of lingering or left behind. Mainly in my area was smaller sizes, like the GS sizes. You know, people didn't want to pick them up, so the bigger sizes, they kind of, you know, sold out first. You know, a lot of people came and picked those up. Those were mostly, you know, wins off the, you know, the raffles and things like that. But you know, the smaller sizes or the GS sizes, they were kind of resale on these aren't too crazy. My size 11 is going for like, you know, $240, $230, around that range. With taxes and fees, it'll probably be like, you know, $270, $280, pretty close to like $300. But you know, I expected these to perform a little bit better. The Air Jordan 8, you know, playoffs that came out, you know, in 2023, I think, they sold out almost immediately, and, you know, they increased in price over time. I expected, you know, the same thing for the Aquas, but you know, a lot of people just, with all the stuff that we've been getting this year, you know, it's probably just kind of, you know, waiting on something else, or, you know, couldn't afford it, or just, you know, pass on it because they didn't like the colorway, or, you know, didn't like the gray on the back of the shoe. You know, they found a reason, you know, not to pick them up. But, you know, I'm happy I was able to pick up my pair, and, you know, I've never owned the Aquas before, so, you know, I'm happy to add this one to the collection. And with all that out of the way, could you guys one more time make sure you subscribe to the channel? You know, make sure you're hitting the like button. A lot of time and effort goes into, you know, putting these videos up and editing, and, you know, finding the information out, and, you know, doing your research on these sneakers. So if you guys could make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel. And like I tell you guys, all work is easy work when you're doing what you love to do. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll catch y'all next time.